Welcome to the regular board meeting for the Board of Trustees for West Ada School District. It is Monday, July 14th, 2025 at 6:05 p.m. Will everyone please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam Clerk, are there any changes to the agenda?
Madam Chair, there are none.
I'll turn the time over to Dr. Bubb for superintendent update.
Madam Chair, trustees, just a couple quick updates. Number one, happy summer to everybody. Hopefully everybody's getting some well-deserved rest and relaxation. It's not rest and relaxation for everybody, though. We are right in the middle of summer feeding. For our food nutrition services team is out at various locations getting meals to our community. And so all of those dates are located on our website. We just ask that you go on and participate on those. I was able to attend a couple of them, and they're just great events. I'd like to do a quick celebration of Renaissance High School, which we are attached to here. Real quick, I'm going to read these off verbatim so I don't mess them up. Dr. Farrell, the assistant principal over at Renaissance, gave me this information earlier in the week. She said, for the fourth year in a row, 100% of the students attempting their IBCP, which is the International Baccalaureate College Prep certificate, earned that certificate. 100% of those kids did. And then for the first time at Renaissance High School, 100% of the students attempting the full IB diploma, which means they get a specific seal on their diploma, got that IB diploma. So yeah, congratulations. Those results just came out, as well as AP results. I have not disaggregated those results yet, but those the AP results are out as well, so we'll be looking at those. And then, just as we talk about finishing up one school year, admin return next week. Hopefully they're not listening to this, so they don't know that they return, but they return next week, and they're ready to go, and we start planning and getting ready for the school year. We're excited about that. Groundbreaking for Star, the new, I almost said Star Elementary. Star Elementary is in existence. The new elementary school in the Star area will be on the 21st of the month. So next week, we'll be able to do groundbreaking over there and get ready to open up a new elementary school in the Star area. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Bubb. We'll mention, you'll see the absence of Trustee Benetti here. He did have a family emergency, which is going to keep him from being here tonight. We'll send him our best, and sad to not have him this evening. The next part of our meeting will be patron input, and just kind of to keep with that decorum that I've been doing, that housekeeping. Remember that this first portion, in accordance with state law, we do need to allow for patron input on things that are non-agendized as well. But this first portion will be for agendized items only. Please keep it to high-level conversations about policy and, not individual people or that type of thing. And then at the end of the meeting, they'll be good of the order, and that is where other items can be brought up. With that, we'll move forward to Ms. Amory Young, if you'll come up and then state what item in the agenda you're speaking to, please.
Yeah, there we go. Thank you so much. Anna Marie Young, mother of 4 with 1 on the way. I am speaking to, I have a comment on 403.50 AR-09, but I have recommendations that go beyond section 400. My comment is that if the district wants to encourage a positive learning environment for all students, like the policy states and like it's obligated to do under Title VI of the Federal Civil Rights Act, then the district needs to take actions to change the current environment to ensure, or better ensure, that all students feel welcome, no matter their race, color, national origin, religion. So if discrimination is a district-wide problem, then it should be a district, that the district handle it on a district level. So that's where I'm departing from section 400. So I'm not talking about personnel conduct, but district conduct. My recommendations to you are the same recommendations I gave last November 2024 when you guys updated your anti-discrimination policy. The recommendation is that the district be responsible for providing systematic education and outreach to every student, faculty, and staff on what discrimination is, how to identify discrimination, and what to do, how to report it. For example, first day of every school year, first day of every class, every teacher takes 15 minutes to describe, the protected classes and what discrimination is, and that, it's not allowed and this is how you report it. Other examples would be several different kinds of multimedia, which would include posters, brochures, your social media on the website. Just again, at the beginning of the year, making sure it's posted that what the protected classes are under Title VI and what to do if they see discrimination. Thank you.
Thank you. Carol Kaba, is that correct?
Kaba?
Kaba, pardon me. And if you'd speak to,
It was wrong last time I was here as well.
I apologize.
Okay. All right, I'm a retired West Ada teacher, taught Middleton, Caldwell, West Ada and I retired 15 years ago. And I'm back again speaking against the 400 with the everyone is welcome policy that I know that you're working on. I don't know a lot of the public knows that this did start from a classroom of a couple of anonymous parents complaining of a teacher's bulletin board with rainbow borders, rainbow concentric circles, cute little white puffy clouds. And because of that, anonymous complaints, all of this started, which led to Sarah's poster being removed. Being retired, I know many teachers still teaching, and I know a lot of buildings where into classrooms were entered and they were told to cover the rainbow and the letter R on the alphabet card and replace it with the rabbit, and it went on, and they came back and checked to make sure, and that's how this came to be. But my question is, and I guess my concern is for you, if those anonymous demands, because of concentric circles, a rainbow, which is not a pride flag, is taken into consideration, then what happens to the next complaint that says the kindergarten class cannot have the water paint pots because they are in a rainbow order, crayons, markers, colored paper? What happens when it rains? Do we hide under the desk because they might see a rainbow? This is going to happen because you allowed this to happen and go so far. I guess my question to those parents were, have they allowed their child down the cold cereal aisle of the grocery store? What color of clothes are in their children's closet? Do they have flowers in their yard and green grass and a blue sky? The hypocrisy of this is absolutely amazing. And I'm going to ask you all to raise your hands. Please raise your hands. Raise your hands. Who is not welcome? Because if you would raise your hands, who gets to decide? What's the criteria? Do you see how you have opened yourself? I have a neighbor who has
I'm sorry, I have to ask you to wrap up. We do have to keep it to 2 minutes.
blue line flag. Their child is not happy with the blue line flag.
Thank you,
This
that'll be
is
the end. I do
not
have to stop you,
over.
I'm sorry. Thank you. Please feel free to send us an email for any additional items you need to share with us. Sorry, I need to keep it consistent so everybody gets the same amount of time. Julie Edwards.
Hello, trustees, Dr. Bob. The first thing I wanted to mention was about policy 401.18, and it was, I have written down here, I wrote this for the last meeting, but it was a certified grievance, and it's under guidelines, and it said the employee has 15 days to file a grievance with the Director of Accountability and Support, or then they can file an appeal after they hear back with the Chief HR Officer. But after that, both of the options say, if they don't, they have a time, the Director of Accountability has a timeline to get back, so many days. Or if there's no response, then file again. And if you write to the HR officer and then you don't get a response, then, and there's no follow-up by whoever filed the grievance, then it's considered closed. And I just thought that the Director of Accountability should be accountable for responding in whatever allotted time that is. I can't remember the date or the days. So I just didn't think that was fair, and that wording was a little odd, if you can look back at that. And the other thing was just about the everyone is welcome sign. I just feel like it's been inappropriately handled from the get-go. It's been 5 or 6 months now. we still don't really have any clear-cut answers. You know, the West Ada lawyer, oh, they've said something. I didn't think it was appropriate to go on to a podcast when the news was asking for answers. But then within the podcast, then we hear that the hands were the issue. And so really, I feel like with as much publicity that this has gotten, we need to know why the hands are a problem. Like, in any of the weekly updates, just give us something, because everything is just kind of brushed over. And so, I don't know, we just want specifics on what's acceptable. Thanks.
All right, thank you. That concludes the 3 people that had signed up. With that, we will move forward to consent agenda. I'm open to a motion. Trustee Redford,
Motion to accept the consent agenda unanimously.
is there a second? Trustee Bachman?
Second.
All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries 4-0 with 1 absent. That will take us to discussion and action for this evening. And we will begin, Renee, with our Chief HR Officer, Renee Sinander, and she's going to have some fun tonight. The floor is yours.
Thank you.
All right, good evening, Chair Frazier, trustees, and Dr. Bubb. This evening, I will be presenting 6 policies within 401 and 402 series for a 4th reading, and 10 policies within the 403 series for a 3rd reading. Following the policy readings this evening, we're recommending that the board take action, which includes formally rescinding existing policy section 400, approve the renumbering of existing policies that we've proposed to lift and shift, followed by a motion to approve and adopt proposed policy sections 401, 402, and 403. You'll find that rescissions are packaged as a batch, which is an approach the policy committee is recommending to be efficient with the upcoming motions. Now, as a reminder, all policies presented tonight have followed the established review process with the policy committee. For reference, the 401 policies address certificated personnel, the 402 policies address classified personnel, and the 403 policies pertain to all personnel. All right. We'll start with policy 401.10, contracts. This is a 4th reading of policy 401.10, contracts. This policy directs the superintendent or designee to establish procedures related to certificated contracts. And under this proposed policy, you'll find 2 administrative regulations, which are for contract process and deadlines and the workday. Questions?
Any comments or questions? All right, I'm open to a motion. Trustee Redford.
Motion to accept policy 401, excuse me, .10, contracts as presented.
Is there a second? Trustee Bachman.
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries 4-0 with 1 absent.
All right, up next we have 401.15, reduction in force. This is a 4th reading of policy 401.15, reduction in force. This policy allows the Board of Trustees to declare a reduction in force should such action become necessary, and entrusting the superintendent or designee to develop procedures associated with implementing a RIF upon declaration. And under this policy, there are 2 ARs, one for the procedural aspects of a RIF, and the second is a RIF matrix.
Any comments or questions? I'm open to a motion. Trustee Redford.
Motion to accept policy 401.15, reduction in force as presented.
Is there a second? Trustee Bachman.
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries 4-0 with 1 absent.
Next is policy 401.18, certificated personnel. This is a 4th reading of the policy, certificated personnel. It was originally introduced as a new policy and is the overarching framework for employment matters related to certificated employees. It designates the superintendent or designee to develop procedures addressing personnel transfers, scholarship programs, student teachers, meetings and trainings, and grievances through individual administrative regulations under this recommended policy.
Any comments or questions? I'm open to them. Pardon me, Vice Chair Zuna.
Thank you. Ms. Senander, would you mind taking a look at AR5 under the grievance section of this? I know with ARs, if we need to make a change, we can make that adjustment, but given the testimony that we had, won't hold it up, because I know we can change that if we need to, but let's
Absolutely.
go back and look at that. Thank you.
Okay, sorry about that, Vice Chair Zuna. All right. Did we do a motion on that? Okay. All right, any other discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye.
Didn't do the motion yet.
Oh, you did not do the motion? Pardon me, sorry. We're going to have a few of these tonight, so forgive me. I'm open to a motion. Trustee Redford.
Motion to accept policy 401.18 certificated personnel as presented.
Is there a second? Trustee Buckland.
Second.
Now, is there any further discussion? All right, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries 4-0 with one absent.
All right, up next, we have a fourth reading of policy 401.30, supervision and evaluation. This is an existing policy and no changes were proposed to the existing policy language, and no administrative regulations are associated with this policy.
Any comments or questions? I'm open to a motion. Trustee Redford.
Motion to accept policy 401.30 supervision and evaluation as presented.
Is there a second? Trustee Buckland.
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries 4-0 with one absent.
Next, we have a fourth reading of policy 401.80, professional negotiations. This is an existing policy that is recommended to remain as policy. No changes are proposed to the policy language nor the associated administrative regulation, and this policy was recently updated and adopted in 2023, and upon review, policy committee did not identify any additional changes.
Any comments or questions? I'm open to a motion. Trustee Redford.
Motion to accept policy 401.80 professional negotiations as presented.
Is there a second? Trustee Buckland.
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries 4-0 with one absent.
All right, switching gears to the 402 section. So I have before you a fourth reading of policy 402.10, classified personnel. This is a current policy that includes recommended revisions, delegating the development of procedures related to classified employees, including evaluation, separations and dismissal, compensatory time, fringe benefits and salary, grievance procedure, and workday to the superintendent or designee. And the policy also clearly defines classified employees as those in positions not requiring a teaching certificate.
Any comments or questions? I'm open to a motion. Trustee Redford.
Motion to accept policy 402.10 classified personnel as presented.
Is there a second? Trustee Buckland.
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries 4-0 with one absent.
Now we'll move on to the 403 policies, which cover all personnel, starting with a third reading of policy 403.40, hiring and selection. This was a new policy which directs the superintendent or designee to develop procedures for the purpose of standardizing hiring practices. And under this policy, there were 4 proposed administrative regulations for military preference, personnel files, qualification and employment, and substitute teachers.
Any comments or questions? I'm open to a motion. Trustee Redford.
Motion to accept policy 403.40 hiring and selection as presented.
Is there a second? Trustee Buckland.
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries 4-0 with one absent.
Next, we have a third reading of policy 403.50, personnel conduct. This is an existing policy which the superintendent or designee is directed to develop procedures to address personnel conduct. And under this, there were 10 proposed administrative regulations which address personal standards of conduct, protection of students, professional appearance, district physical property, personnel personal property, merchandising, nepotism and work romance in the workplace, technology and acceptable usage, visual displays, and outside employment.
Any comments or questions? I'm open to a motion. Trustee Redford.
Motion to accept policy 403.50 personnel conduct as presented.
Is there a second? Trustee Bachman.
Second.
Any discussion? Vice Chair Zimmer.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The language in our existing policy for visual displays was vague, which allowed a message of inclusion to be deemed political. It was my hope that we'd correct it in this version. I appreciate the updates, especially the addition of the review process, which I think is a step in the right direction. However, I'm going to be voting no because I believe that this policy still falls short in clearly affirming our support for the many unique backgrounds that make up our West Ada community.
Other discussion? Okay, for myself, I will be voting yes on this evening. We do have state law that addresses this. We have had comments come out from our state AG that have very clearly stated where our legislators sit on this. I believe strongly in following state law. And so for me, this is honestly an easy yes. Any other discussion? All right, with that, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Oh, pardon me.
Did I already do the motion?
Yeah, you did. Okay. Yeah, we're good. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Those opposed?
Nay.
Motion carries 3-1 with one absent.
Up next, we have a third reading of policy 403.60 leaves. This was a new policy which directs the superintendent or designee to establish procedures addressing the variety of leaves applicable to staff. And under this policy, there are 8 administrative regulations which address the following: extended sick leave, reasonable accommodation in the interactive process, leave of absence with pay, misuse of leave, certificated personnel leave, legislative leave, workers' compensation and return to work, Family Medical Leave Act, classified personnel leave, and donated leave.
Any comments or questions? All right, I'm open to a motion. Trustee Redford.
Motion to accept policy 403.60 leave as presented.
Is there a second? Trustee Bachlan.
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries 4-0 with one absent.
Now we have a third reading of 403.70 alcohol, tobacco, and illicit drugs. This is an existing policy which directs the superintendent or designee to establish procedures to address violations of this nature, and under this policy, we have one proposed administrative regulation.
Any comments or questions? I'm open to a motion. Trustee Redford.
Motion to accept policy 403.70 alcohol, tobacco, and illicit drugs as presented.
Is there a second? Trustee Bachlan.
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries 4-0 with one absent.
Up next, we have a third reading of 403.71 harassment, bullying, and sexting. This consists of 3 existing policies that we combined into a single policy, all of which are statutorily required. Under this policy, the superintendent or designee is directed to establish procedures to prevent this in the educational environment. And we have one proposed administrative regulation addressing the procedures for harassment, bullying, and sexting.
Any comments or questions? I'm open to a motion. Trustee Redford.
Motion to accept policy 403.71 harassment as presented.
Is there a second? Trustee Bachlan.
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries 4-0 with one absent.
Next is a third reading of 403.72, child abuse and neglect. This is an existing policy that's statutorily required. This policy directs the superintendent or designee to develop procedures in alignment with Idaho Code 16-1605 to ensure that all employees report to the proper authorities potential instances of or conditions that would reasonably result in child abuse, abandonment, or neglect. And under this policy, we have one proposed administrative regulation addressing employee responsibilities and reporting procedures.
Any comments or questions? I'm open to a motion. Trustee Redford.
Motion to accept policy 403.72 child abuse neglect as presented.
Is there a second? Trustee Bachlan.
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries 4-0 with one absent.
Next is a third reading of 403.75, enforcement of student discipline. This is an existing policy that was statutorily required, and this policy directs the superintendent or designee to develop procedures for personnel to follow in order to enforce student discipline in alignment with Idaho Code 33-1224 and relevant federal, state, and local laws and regulations. And under this policy, there is one proposed administrative regulation.
Any comments or questions? I'm open to a motion. Trustee Redford.
Motion to accept policy 403.75, enforcement of student discipline as presented.
Is there a second? Trustee Buckland.
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries 4-0 with one absent.
We have a third reading of policy 403.76, fingerprinting and criminal records checks. This is an existing policy directing the superintendent or designee to establish procedures for fingerprinting and criminal records checks for the background screening purposes of employees. And under this policy, we have one proposed administrative regulation.
Any comments or questions? I'm open to a motion. Trustee Redford?
I have a comment.
Oh, pardon me. Trustee Buckland.
Thank you, Madam Chair. There's a pretty bad typo. If you can look in that sentence there where it says superintendents, yeah, if you just read through there, I think it would be best to correct that typo before.
Okay, it may have happened during our transfer from GitHub over to Simply, so we'll take a look at that.
Trustee Redford.
Motion to accept policy 403.76, fingerprinting criminal records check with typo as presented. With corrected typo as presented?
Future correction.
Future
Is-
correction.
Is there a second? Trustee Buckland.
Second, with the condition that the typo will be corrected.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries 4-0 with one absent.
Next, we have a third reading of policy 403.80 in Title IX non-discrimination. This is an existing policy that is recommended to remain as policy. No changes are proposed to the policy language nor the associated administrative regulation. This policy was recently updated and adopted in 2023, and upon review, Policy Committee did not identify any additional revisions.
Any comments or questions? I'm open to a motion. Trustee Redford.
Motion to accept policy 403.80, Title IX, and non-discrimination as presented.
Is there a second? Trustee Buckland.
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries 4-0 with one absent.
Next, we have policy 403.90, assignment of employment-related duties to superintendent. This is a third reading, which we recommend rescission as it is redundant and already covered in section 300, which is administration.
Any comments or questions? I am open to a motion. Trustee Redford.
Motion to accept policy 403.90, assignment of employment-related duties to superintendent as presented.
Is there a second? Trustee Buckland.
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, oh, okay. Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries 4-0 with one absent. Would you like to introduce the next section before we talk about the motion on it, or I'm not quite sure what the protocol was here.
Yes, so certainly.
Okay.
The next section, so as you may recall from our June 9th board meeting, we reviewed corresponding policy rescissions and had recommended in the June meeting that we defer any of these actions on these rescissions until this evening's meeting. That way we were able to rescind and adopt everything as a comprehensive package for personnel policies. You'll see that we package things together as batches. This is to help maintain efficiency with the motions moving forwards.
Any comments or questions on this? I will say this is amazing, the work that our policy committee has put together, and Renee, what you've done in coming in and taking this on is no small feat. I think anybody that's looking at these right now and listens to the monster motion that is about to be made definitely understands, and as you listen to the half an hour or more of policy by policy we're going through, that committee that Vice Chair Zuna sits on, that Trustee Benetti sits on, that Ms. Shepherd sits on, who else is on there? Amy, yeah, I'm missing somebody, I know I am. Derek, just kind of
Yeah.
depends on the policy, sure, but the executive team and the work that's gone into this is no small thing. I mean, what, a year and a half that this has been worked on? So as we get ready to rescind, I guess I just want to take a minute to thank everyone involved and thank Trustee Redford for all of the motions she's making this evening. And apologize, we can't keep track with what motion we've made. So with that, I am open to a motion. Trustee Redford.
Okay, motion to rescind policies 401.11, 401.12, 401.13, 401.14, 401.16, 401.19, 401.20, 401.40, 401.50, 401.51, 401.60, 402.11, 402.13, 402.20, 402.21, 402.30, 402.40, 402.41, 402.42, 402.50, 403.01, excuse me, 403.01, 403.10, 403.11, 403.12, 403.13, 403.23, 403.24, 403.30, 403.51, 403.52, 403.53, 403.54, 403.55, 403.56, 403.57, 403.58, 403.61, 403.73, 403.74, 404.01.
I don't know if we should clap. I feel like we should clap. Okay. Is there a second? Trustee Buckland?
Second.
Yeah, you really got off easy there. That's fantastic. Any discussion? All right, seeing none. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries 4-0 with one absent.
All right, next is second reading of the following Section 400 rework, in which we recommend a section of, which we recommend a batch move and renumbering of to the Section 800s, which will be business operations. So you'll see the 403 policies listed there, and the recommendation to move them over to the 800s.
Any comments or questions? I'm open to a motion. Trustee Redford.
Motion to move and renumber policies 403.20 to 801.20, 403.21 to 801.21, and 403.22 to 801.22.
Is there a second? Trustee Buckland.
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries 4-0 with one absent.
Okay. Next is a second reading of the following Section 400 rework, in which we recommend a section of 403.75, enforcement of student discipline, be moved and renumbered to 502.11, student discipline.
Any comments or questions? I'm open to a motion. Trustee Redford.
Motion to rescind policy 502.11, student discipline, and adopt AR-01 403.75. Is that right?
I have no idea.
It's the other way.
It's the other way, I was
Section
gonna
of
say.
403.75 AR1 moving to 50.
It's not the other way, they said it correctly.
Okay.
You're rescinding
Are we okay?
policy and adopting the AR.
I want everyone to know this is how important the executive team is in helping us with this, so thank you. This is a beast. All right, so we're okay with our motion? Everything's in place? All right, a second, please. Trustee Buckland.
Second.
Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries 4-0 with one absent.
Okay. Next is a second reading of the following Section 400 rework, in which we recommend the move and renumbering of the Idaho Dignity and Non-Discrimination in Public Education Act from 401.20 to 602.22.
Any comments or questions? I'm open to a motion. Trustee Redford.
Motion to move policy 401.20 to policy 602.22, Idaho Dignity and Non-Discrimination in Public Education Acts.
Is there a second? Trustee Buckland.
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 4-0 with one absent.
All right, next is the second reading of the following section 400 rework, in which we recommend a section of 401.20 student surveys be moved and renumbered to 602.23.
Any comments or questions? I'm open to a motion. Trustee Redford.
Motion to move a section of policy 401.20 to policy 602.23 student surveys.
Is there a second? Trustee Bachland.
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries 4-0 with one absent.
All right, last but not least, a second reading of the following section 400 rework, which we recommend a section of 403.20 certificated personnel salary payments be moved and renumbered to 810.23.
Any comments or questions? I'm open to a motion. Trustee Redford.
Motion to move policy 402.30 to policy 810.23 certified personnel salary payments.
Is there a second? Trustee Bachland.
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries 4-0 with one absent. Well done, well done, well done.
Thank you.
That was a lot. Thank you so much. All right, that moves us to new business. Yay. Discussion and action. We will have Miss Rhonda come up and teach us all kinds of lovely things about the 600 policies.
Thank you. Welcome. Good evening, Chair Frazier, trustees, Superintendent Bub. Tonight I'm presenting the first reading and action, an updated version of policy 603.20, high school credits for your review and discussion. This policy outlines the credit requirements for high school graduation across our district and serves as a foundational resource for our counselors, students, and families when planning high school course enrollment. The proposed revision to this policy are necessary to align with the graduation requirement changes passed during the 2025 legislation session as outlined in the memo from the State Department dated April 30th, 2025. These updates impact both current graduates effective July 1st, 2025, and the class of 2028 and beyond. Key changes reflected in the policy update include terminology change or update. The graduation requirement previously labeled humanities has been replaced with fine arts or world languages. Effective July 1, 2025, while the name has changed, the credit value remains the same. Digital literacy requirement, a new digital literacy course requirement is included for the class of 2028 and beyond. Although this requirement takes effect in 2028, it is being noted now so families and counselors can begin to plan accordingly. West 8 is expecting the creation of this course, which will be available the 26-27 school year. Elective credit adjustments for the class of 2028 and beyond. The number of required elective credits is reduced by 1 to account for the addition of the digital literacy requirement. Senior project renaming. Beginning with the class of 2028, the senior project will be referred to as the Future Readiness Project, reflecting a broader emphasis on preparation for post-secondary pathways. Revision dates. The review date has been updated to reflect the current work and will be finalized when the board adopts the policy. A note on the administrative regulations, the AR update. The correspondence policy 603.20 AR1, which is most widely used reference by the counselors and high school staff, has also been revised to reflect these changes in greater detail. The science requirement clarification. While science remains a 6-credit requirement, the update specifies that students must complete at least 4 of those credits in 2 different science content areas, with the remaining 2 credits from any science area. This provides more structure to guide student selection and counselor advisement while maintaining flexibility for most students following the traditional path, which is earth science in 9th, biology in 10th. Setting specific updates, the AR includes specific graduation requirement updates for each of our high school environments, including traditional high schools, alternative settings, Renaissance High, IFA, virtual schoolhouse, and newcomers. Each section now reflects the updated science requirement, the naming of the senior project, the new digital literacy requirement, and the shift from humanities to fine arts or world languages. In summary, the policy just ensures that our credit requirements are fully aligned with the most recent legislative changes while providing the clarity and structure and foresight necessary for families, students, and staff to plan ahead. I'll stand for any questions.
Any comments or questions? Trustee Bachman?
So just for clarity, because usually thank you, Madam Chair. Just for clarity, because usually it is unusual for us to approve something on a first reading. So is the only reason really that we're approving this on the first reading is because of, to be in line with legislation? Is that correct?
Yes, Chair Fraser, Trustee Bachman, sorry about that. Thank you for the question. Yes, because we need it in action immediately so that students and counselors can advise correctly. We don't want it to impact our kids.
Any other questions or comments? Okay, with that, I am open to a motion. Trustee Redford.
Motion to accept policy 603.20, high school credits as presented.
Is there a second? Trustee Bachman?
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries 4-0 with one absent.
All right, the second policy is 603.21, high school commencement ceremony. This is the first reading an updated version of policy 603.21 for your review and discussion. The policy outlines the expectations for student participation, regalia, speakers, and other ceremonial details that help ensure our graduation ceremonies uphold dignity and significance of our families and significance for our students, families, and the staff deserve. The key changes proposed in this revision include clarification and eligibility requirements for participation, updates to regalia guidelines maintaining consistency across all of our schools, revised procedures for selecting speakers aligning with our commitment to recognize academic excellence, and notably the addition of valedictorian designation at each traditional high school. I want to take a moment to focus on this addition, the valedictorian designation. In the past, our district has not formally named in policy. With this revision, each of the 6 comprehensive high schools will name a valedictorian, defined as the student with the highest class rank who meets clear objective criteria. A minimum of 3 years of full-time secondary attendance in our district, ranking first in the graduating class, and in the event of a tie, fair tiebreakers will apply, such as aggregate AP scores and PSAT results. Or co-valedictorians co-valedictorians if a tie remains. So why now and why add this when some schools nationally are moving away? I thought I would address that right away. The decision reflects our community's values and feedback that we've received consistently from students and families who continue to place a strong importance on recognizing exceptionality and academic achievement. While some districts moved away from naming a single top student, often to reduce competition, our community has consistently expressed that honoring the student who attains the highest academic standing is an important tradition that aligns with our district's emphasis on rigor, scholarship, and celebrating excellence. At this time, the policy ensures fairness, clarity, and transparency, how it will be selected. By setting clear standards and tie-breaking procedures, will avoid any ambiguity and last-minute disputes and ensure that every student knows the pathways to the recognition. Additionally, the policy provides that the valedictorian will be given opportunity to speak at commencement if they choose, again affirming that that honor comes with the privilege to represent the class's highest academic achievement before peers, families, and staff. In closing, the revision balances tradition and clarity. It ensures while ceremonies remain dignified, they also celebrate those students who set the highest academic example for their peers. I'll stand for questions.
Any comments or questions? Vice Chair Zuna.
Thanks. I have a couple questions. I'll give you the easy one first. Does the ranking system that we're using, does that match up to the ranking that we have in Power School? With the exception of any ties if we need to go to test scores?
Yes, it does.
Okay, thanks. And then my second question is around, and I appreciate you addressing nationally that
Sure.
people are moving against that or away from that. What kind of increased pressure does this put on our highest achieving students?
Chair Fraser, Trustee Azuna, I appreciate that question from you because I think that we're always trying to balance the mental health of our kids and competition and pressure. I would say, based on experience, the kids who would be in the running for that position are very aware. It's probably in their DNA. I mean, they have been chasing that class rank for a few years. And I think by naming that honor, while it may appear to be a new competition or a competition that could add additional pressure for kids, I think it just honors the work and the spirit of what those kids are already chasing and what they're attempting to achieve. So I'm not sure that a student who isn't seeking that would feel undue pressure to go after that.
Other questions or comments? Trustee Bachman?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I was tapping my fingers there, sorry. You took that signal. I have to say, thank you for presentation tonight. And valedictorians, they can refuse, like if they are invited, like the top academically achieving student can refuse. And is that correct?
Refuse to give a speech at commencement? Yes, absolutely, it's a choice.
Okay, and can you remind me of like what is weighted, like for them to achieve that top ranking, what it actually includes to achieve that top ranking for them to be the valedictorian?
I think there's multiple data factors involved. I might defer that question to somebody who could speak to that more specifically.
Yeah, Madam Chair, trustees, there is a formula that is taken into consideration. Weighted classes are IB classes or AP classes, honors classes, college prep classes. Marcus, I don't know if you want to speak more to that. But there's a specific, it doesn't change anything from what is right now posted within Power Schools. That same class rank is used right now.
Dr. Bob, class rank information as it is now, Trustee Bacleon, is unweighted GPA plus the number of AP courses or IB courses that a student takes times 0.02 to determine their class ranking. And then if, like Ms. McDonough said, if there's a tiebreaker necessary, we'll take other factors into account.
Thank you for that. I appreciate the clarity on that. I will state my own personal opinion is I actually agree that I do have concerns about the additional competitiveness that already exists amongst those at the top of the ranking. I do share her concerns about that, but Renee's concerns. It's good to see that we have a plan in place that they can refuse, and I can't see any situation where it's a once in a lifetime opportunity, right, to be able to speak at a commencement. But I appreciate you addressing these concerns, though. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other comments or questions? I will say, having had a child that graduated several years ago and would have been competing for this, I think it's a good thing to look at. I really appreciate the work that's gone into it, and I know that formula has taken a lot of time to put together and try to create a situation where kids can look at it and decide if they want to join in with that. Also, in looking at colleges, I know as my daughter applied, class rank was actually a huge part of potential scholarships and that type of thing. So irregardless of whether or not a valedictorian and it wasn't available then, she was still chasing that for the opportunity to receive more money. So anyway, I do appreciate this policy and look forward to continued readings.
Thank you. Our final policy is 603.22, advanced opportunities. Again, this comes from legislative sessions, and I'm presenting the first reading. There's minor revisions in content, including renaming from fast forward funds, which it's currently called, to advanced opportunity funds. This adds CLEP, college level examinations, were part of this opportunity. Legislative requirements prompted this revision, as I mentioned before. Again, thank you. This is short and sweet. Any questions, or I'll stand for comments.
Any comments or questions? All right, we're ready for the next.
That's it for me.
Well, that was fantastic.
Well,
That was a little easier than our friend Renee.
Thank you.
Mr. Myers, you are up, cell phone and personal electronic devices.
All right, good evening, Madam Chair, trustees, and Superintendent Dr. Bubb. Policy 502.80, cell phone and personal electronic devices and its associated administrative regulation, come before you as a revised policy in first reading tonight. In the policy itself, the only substantive change was the addition of language that provides disciplinary consequences for infractions. This addition is now required by statute. The administrative regulation revision better defines the school day through the start to the end of school, when students may not keep cell phones or other personal devices on their person. And with this, I express my appreciation and stand for any questions or further considerations you may have for the Policy Review Committee.
Any comments or questions? All right, thank you so much. Our legislature was very busy this
Thank you,
session. All right, that moves us to the next section, good of the order. We didn't have anyone sign up for any further comment this evening. So with that, we will move to future agenda items. Are there any? All right, I am open to a motion to adjourn. Trustee Redford,
Motion to adjourn.
is there a second? Trustee Buckland,
Second.
any discussion? I think we owe Trustee Redford a really big thank you tonight. All right, with that, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries 4-0 with one absent. Have a lovely evening. We will adjourn at 6:55 PM.